There's a reason I asked you about the old movie, because I heard that old Transformers theme in the back of my head by Lion. Wow. Like that Joe was like, Transformers. That's all I heard the whole time I was reading this comic. The whole time.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
If you want to talk about something, Carter, that I did really like, a comic I actually liked infinitely better. Infinitely better. Transformers #1. Lord have mercy, this comic was fire. Lord have mercy, this book was good. What we're going to talk about here is the Energon universe, the new Transformers universe is being introduced. It was actually introduced first in the comic Void Rivals. I kind of have to bring this up to really get point across, but Void Rivals was a comic that, like, a lot of people, like, no one really knew that it was going to be a part of that it was going to be a part of the Energon universe at first, at least not, they didn't understand how, and that was kind of where it was made very clear. And I think I've talked about this comic before on the show, but Void Rivals is basically a comic that, when the more you dig into it, the more you realize that it's about an alien species that kind of mirrors the Autobots and the Decepticons, but not as robots, but as actual, like, alien people, like actual humanoid alien people. I don't want to go too much further in that regard, but basically what they do is they have two alien species, the Agorians and the Zertonians. You can kind of just look at either one of them as stand-ins for the Autobots and the Decepticons and just go with that. The Energon universe is basically going to be a shared universe between not just the Transformers, in this, but it will also be a shared universe. We're going to be getting comics for G.I. Joe that will also exist in this same universe. So, like, you're going to get,
I didn't know that Joshua Williamson was doing Duke.
Yeah.
And he's also doing
Cobra Commander. Yep.
That is thick.
That's gonna be wild. So yeah, you're gonna be getting G.I. Joe centric comics set in the same universe. And what I like about this is that the way they do everything is very interesting, because basically what they did, and I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you right now, Carter, did you ever watch the old 1985, 86 Transformers the movie?
Yes, I had it on VHS.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you how ugly I was. I never had it on VHS, not in the traditional sense. I had it on VHS because it came on TV one day, and I recorded that motherfucker off TV. But I don't know if you remember this. Remember back in the day when they used to have, like, the Transformer show, and they would have, like, the little boy talking to, like, a CGI Optimus Prime?
I know what you're talking about.
They framed it around that, where the kid and Optimus were talking about the movie. And it was actually really cool. So I had all that mixed in there as well. And for the longest time, I was convinced it was actually a part of the movie. So when it came out on DVD in my later years, and I tried to watch it, I was like, where's the kid in Optimus? This comic basically sets us up with the Transformers. It, for all intents and purposes, is kind of a retelling of the original Generation 1 cartoon, but with a twist. You still get the Transformers traveling to Earth with their ship crash landing, with the Decepticons and the Autobots all together, and everyone being deactivated and having to be reactivated. But what I love about this is, and once again, this is Daniel Warren Johnson doing pretty much everything except, like, the coloring and the lettering, I think. Mike Spicer is the one that's on color. Everything that's happening here is happening slowly. So we have Spike and Sparky, old Spark Plug. We got them. There's a whole dynamic going on with them I was not expecting. With, like, involving alcoholism and PTSD and a bunch of other. I was not expecting that. But when we get to the portion where they're actually, like, checking out the ship, and you see all the Transformers, like, Spike is the one who finds all of them. They're all busted up and everything. They're completely depleted of Energon. And then once the Teletran 1 starts reactivating them, but it's not reactivating them in any one specific order. It's just kind of like wherever they are.
This reminded me of Beast Wars, because I remember
Yeah.
this was how the Predacons found the old G1 in that ship. So
Mhm.
I like that shot because that was the first thing that popped into my head.
That was I think I don't know if I can't remember if Daniel Warren Johnson did this page on his live stream. I don't remember if he did it on his live stream, but like I would not be shocked if he said something about that. They're all being slowly reactivated, and if I'm not mistaken, Starscream is the one that gets woken up first.
Yep.
And Starscream is a whole problem on this comic, at least at first. I think there's only 3 or 4 Decepticons that are active by the end of this issue. And there's only like there's 2 Autobots, I believe, that are active by the time you get to the end of it as well. But I'm gonna tell you what was the money shot for me, Carter. I gotta show you the money shot. This right here. When Optimus Prime hit Starscream with the Rainmaker, I was like, this man is still in do a powerbomb mode.
I wasn't even thinking about a Rainmaker. I just thought it was funny that he grabbed Starscream's blaster just to be able to clothesline the shit out of him.
Oh yeah.
Like I've told you all before, Daniel Warren Johnson has a YouTube channel. He streams very consistently. And
yes.
He's the one that actually told people, because he showed this old Optimus figure, which is, if you want to, there's a director's commentary he did for this issue, if you all want to watch it. And he was talking about how he used that figure that he had, that old Optimus action figure, to draw and get the ins and outs of how he's able to move the way he is. So apparently that's one of his Okada is one of his all-time favorite wrestlers.
Yes.
And there's something else that happens in this issue as well, but what I'm getting at is it's Daniel Warren Johnson. Okay, boom, there we go. Optimus giving Starscream a German suplex.
Bruh. That shit was fire. I was like, bro, I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Starscream go to Suplex City. That's pretty fun.
Bruh. Like, honestly, if he would have held on to Starscream and stood back up and did 2 more, I'd holler.
One of those panels, you gonna make the fucking podcast, the Spotify and them thumbnail.
Oh yeah. Oh no. You know what the other one was?
What's that?
Was it Ratchet?
Yeah.
Ratchet gave Starscream black mass.
Oh, bro.
He gave that motherfucker katong. He hit that motherfucker with black mass. I was like, bro.
So Big K Gaming. So it's not the clothesline from hell. That's where my mind went. If you go back and you watch his stream where he's doing the commentary, Okada is his all-time favorite wrestler. So he specifically because he even put it himself in the stream. I didn't think I'd be able to get away with doing one wrestling move in this, but he says, according to him, Optimus is an AEW guy. He's not a lucha.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The German suplex. So yeah, boy, he specifically says that was a Rainmaker.
In the thumbnail, he was holding up. Daniel Warren Johnson had himself holding up the AEW strap,
the AEW belt. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, bro.
When he changes the camera. He got one of the AEW Championship for the action figures.
Yeah.
And that's what's on Optimus when he goes to grab.
I love
it. He has it around Optimus's waist.
Say what you will about gods. This comic evokes emotion from me. And maybe you could say it's nostalgia. But every time, the whole time, you know what I was hearing the whole time, Carter? You know what I was hearing the whole time that I was reading this comic? There's a reason I asked you about the old movie. Because I heard that old Transformers theme in the back of my head by Lion. Wow. Like that Joe was like, Transformers. Like that's what I heard. The whole Transformers. That's all I heard the whole time I was reading this comic. The whole time I was reading this comic. That is what I heard.
So I didn't hear that, but they have a scene where Starscream and Optimus are going back and forth. and Starscream screams for Soundwave to help him. And Soundwave, he shoots out one of them cassette tapes with Ravage, and when he said Ravage activate, my mind immediately went to that robotic ass way that Soundwave used to talk.
Oh yeah, well, I also, you know, I loved that his word bubbles. I love that he had them in a different color than everybody else to kind of help you get that to get that across.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, bro. This, and here's the thing. This comic has not even really a whole lot going on as far as like exposition goes. Like at the very beginning, they give you some exposition to basically let you know that Spike and his dad they're not getting along right now. You know just enough to know that something happened, back in the day that gave Sparky some PTSD. Something happened. It's very, I don't even want to say what that is exactly, because I feel like that I think is something you should see for yourself. I love the nods in this. And you can already kind of see, not just based on the stuff that happens at the end of the book where they show you like the Duke #1 and Cobra Commander comics or whatever, but just the idea that like you can already tell this exists in the same universe as G.I. Joe. Like you can already tell like, okay, yeah, this is in fact the same universe. These two properties are going to be interacting. I effing love it. This is probably going to be my personal favorite comic that came out this week.
Okay.
Above and beyond most things.
I like that was a very smooth transition to go ahead and get your recommended knocked out so we can go to questions, because I saw the time right now.
This is definitely I would definitely say go read this comic.
Originally, I didn't know he was doing the art, because when it said Mike Spicer, I thought this was just Daniel Warren Johnson writing.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't until I watched his director's commentary on this, which I think you all should do.
Yes.
And then because he even shows like this one-off sketch he did when the book was offered to him, because he did a sketch of Optimus, and he said, if I can't get the sketch right, I'm not fucking doing it.
Right.
And the sketch was just sick.
I like how he explained in that, because I think it's in the same stream. He explained why he drew the Transformers the way he did. Like, because I think he showed an image of something, and I actually was really happy that he did. But he showed an image. You remember like the old IDW Transformers?
Mm-hmm.
I say old as if they
about that in the chat, because they said the IDW books were really, really good. I actually, if you've never read any of the IDW Transformers books, I actually highly recommend them. They're fantastic. But one of the things he was talking about, it was like I think he showed an image. It was of a Pat Lee's Optimus. And he was talking about how much he loved the picture, but he didn't want his Transformers to be that bulky. Like he wanted to be like more sleek. Like if you go back and look at the old IDW stuff, like Optimus's legs would look like fucking, God, they looked huge a lot of the time. He said he wanted to go in a different direction. I actually thought that was really cool. I will definitely say, if you are a fan of Bumblebee, that's the only thing I'll say about this. You will probably be a little tight. You might be a little tight in this one. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I love this. I love this comic.